From unexplained disappearances at sea to the Bermuda Triangle and Atlantis, here are 9 strange deep water mysteries. BERMEJA Island. Have you ever heard of an island simply disappearing without a trace? Well, that's what happened to BERMEJA Island, located northwest of the Yucatan Peninsula. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the uninhabited island was a fixture on the maps of Spanish explorers. After that, the island seemed to appear and reappear on various maps until 1921, when it seemed to escape the notice of cartographers altogether. But interest in the elusive island resurfaced in 1997. That's when an accord between Mexico and the US divided a stretch of international waters, which included the area in which BERMEJA was thought to be located. The Mexican government dispatched an expedition to find the island, because if it did exist, that would extend the country's maritime boundaries, and that would impact Mexico's rights to any oil deposits within those boundaries. The search came up empty, though, and the accord took effect. Several more extensive searches took place in 2009, but again, no evidence of the island was found. Some wild theories for the island's disappearance did emerge, though, including that the CIA might have blown it up to ensure the US gets whatever oil might be there. A lot of experts speculate that the island may have sunk into the ocean during the 19th century, as suggested by some British cartographers, or maybe it was the result of mapmaker errors and never existed at all. What do you think? The wreck of the EDMUND FITZGERALD. The SS EDMUND FITZGERALD was a huge freighter ship transporting iron ore across Lake Superior in 1975. When a massive storm descended on the lake, the FITZGERALD altered course along with another ship, the SS Arthur M. Anderson. The FITZGERALD's captain alerted the Coast Guard that the vessel was taking on huge waves and was imperiled. About an hour after the captain reported he was altering course, the ship disappeared from radar, with no call for help before communication was lost. While the Anderson arrived at its destination safely, it did return to the stormy waters to search for the FITZGERALD and her crew, but all they located were 2 lifeboats floating in the lake, along with a single life jacket. The wreck of the EDMUND FITZGERALD was later located with sonar about 500 feet below the surface. The ship had been torn apart, and its iron ore was scattered across the lake floor. But not one body from its crew of 29 was ever found. And even though the storm did play a role in the ship's fate, it is still unknown exactly what caused the ship to sink. Now that, along with just what happened to the crew members' missing bodies, remains a mystery more than 40 years later. Now today, freight ships crossing Lake Superior will not begin a journey if a storm is forecast for the area. South Atlantic Anomaly, or SAA. Now this one might qualify as much as an outer space puzzle as it does a deep sea mystery, and that's because scientists noted that satellites would black out whenever they passed over a certain area of the South Atlantic Ocean. The cause was traced to higher than normal levels of radiation caused by Earth's inner Van Allen belt. Now that radiation belt can dip as close as 120 miles above the South Atlantic, and when it does so, it creates interference that compromises the functioning of spacecraft and satellites. Even the International Space Station and the Hubble telescope will shut down or curtail various operations when they pass through the SAA. While the cause of the anomaly seems to have been determined, some sources claim that the SAA itself is still not fully understood, and it still remains something of a mystery in both the sea and in the skies above. Mysterious stone. A massive stone object was located at the bottom of the Sea of Galilee in Israel in 2013. The cone-shaped structure is believed to weigh thousands of tons, making it heavier than some modern-day warships. Made of cobbles of basalt and boulders, its construction pattern remains a mystery. The structure measures almost 10 meters high and more than 70 meters in diameter, and archaeologists are still baffled as to the object's purpose. It has been located over 20 meters below the surface, but experts think it was originally made on land and then was submerged over time as sea levels rose. Because the massive object is made from rocks stacked atop one another, it is thought the cairn could have been designed as a type of grave marker. Researchers have come up with a wide-ranging estimate for the object's age as well, placing it anywhere between 2,000 to 12,000 years old. The Devil's Sea. Now, this area of the Pacific Ocean does not have quite the reputation of the Bermuda Triangle, but it's still known as the location for many strange occurrences. Even the exact location of the area seems difficult to pinpoint, with various reports indicating it's found up to 750 miles from the coast of Japan. Many claims of phenomena, including unusual lights and bizarre objects, along with magnetic anomalies and strange disappearances, have been reported over the centuries here. Kublai Khan was said to have attempted crossing the Devil's Sea en route to invading Japan, only to lose some 40,000 soldiers in the process. In the early 1950s, a research vessel was dispatched by the Japanese government to investigate the goings-on around the Devil's Sea, and that ship, along with its entire crew, was lost after an undersea volcano erupted and destroyed the vessel. Additional occurrences have caused Japanese fishing authorities to deem the area unsafe. As one might guess, the cause of these bizarre events is often blamed on paranormal forces, including UFOs and alternate dimensional activities. Or could it all be the result of natural environmental phenomena, like the undersea volcano eruption which sank that research ship? Many people think the jury is still out regarding this one. How about you? The Mary Celeste. Now, this 19th century ship is often misidentified as the Marie Celeste, but it was originally known as Amazon when it was launched in Nova Scotia in 1860. Over the next decade, the vessel passed through several owners and was involved in several accidents at sea. After being purchased at a New York salvage yard, the ship was registered in the U.S. under the name Mary Celeste. In 1870, it departed New York with a crew of 11, including the captain, his wife, and his daughter. It was carrying 1,700 barrels of raw U.S. alcohol on board en route to Genoa, Italy, but it never arrived there. Instead, the ship was found adrift in the Strait of Gibraltar. No one was found aboard, and there was no sign of a struggle. Aside from the captain's log, though, all the vessel's documents were missing. There was a report in 1873 that 2 lifeboats containing a total of 6 bodies were found, along with an American flag. Now, while it was speculated these may have been the remains of the Mary Celeste crew, there are no reports that the bodies were ever identified. Speculation about what happened to the crew ranges from them being killed by pirates to a waterspout striking the ship. But so far, no convincing theories have emerged to explain what may have happened aboard the Mary Celeste. Baltic Sea Anomaly. Now, that refers to an anomaly located by a team of Swedish divers in the Baltic Sea in 2011. On the northern floor of the sea, they reported a strange formation that was around 200 feet in diameter, more than 13 inches thick, and had the appearance of rough granite. Located nearly 300 feet below the surface, the object is said to stand on a 26-foot tall pillar-like structure. Now, that includes a structure that resembles a staircase, which leads into what appears to be a dark hole. A smaller structure located nearby looks like a type of runway and measures some 980 feet. While sonar images of the anomaly have been made, we could not find any actual photographs of the object. Best known image is actually a 3D interpretation by an artist named Hauke Vaut, and it kind of makes the thing look like a UFO that flew straight into the sea. And from another perspective, it kind of makes you wonder if Han Solo did not somehow crash the Millennium Falcon on Earth. Others might see it as evidence of an ancient civilization, but there's nothing to support that claim any more than conjecture that it really could be a downed UFO. Divers claim that electronics like cameras and satellite phones didn't work when they were swimming above the object, suggesting it emits some sort of magnetic field. While some sources think it could be the remains of an old battleship, others think it might be a glacial deposit. Well, something seems to be down there all right, but so far, no one has solved this particular mystery. Bermuda Triangle. Now, this one is likely the best known unsolved mystery on our list. The area comprises about a 500 million square miles in the North Atlantic Ocean, where aircraft and vessels are said to have mysteriously disappeared. Now, that, of course, has inspired all kinds of speculation as to whether the area contains UFOs, alien bases, or portals to other dimensions. Well, now we can add another mystery to the Bermuda Triangle, and that being the sudden emergence of a new island. The crescent-shaped land formation looks a bit like a croissant, And coming from a place like the Bermuda Triangle, you might expect the pastry to be abnormal in some regard, and in this case, it would be large enough to feed the extraterrestrials and other paranormal critters conjectured to reside within that region. But this new island, or sandbank, is terrestrial in origin, we think, and measures about a mile long and 400 feet wide. Located off the coast of North Carolina, it's been christened Shelly Island due to the great number of shells on the shore. It's attracted a lot of visitors too, but experts advise people to keep the distance. Along with strong riptides, there are huge stingrays and sharks that infest the waters there. Now, it's said that the U.S. Coast Guard disputes the existence of the Bermuda Triangle. Do you think that will include this mysterious new island as well? Where is Atlantis? It was first mentioned by Plato in 360 BC and described as an island that was located near the Pillars of Hercules, which are land masses flanking the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis sank in the Atlantic Ocean. But that was not the end of the story, as all types of speculation about the island have persisted throughout the ages. Did you know that a theory called crustal displacement suggests that some 12,000 years ago, Antarctica might have been ice-free, allowing people to live in that region? Now, some speculate that Atlantis was a city there, and its location may have been confirmed by the controversial Piri Reis map in the 16th century. It depicts what appears to be the Antarctic coast hundreds of years before its discovery. Some theories closer to Plato's location for Atlantis speculate that it was located near the Greek island of Santorini, which was once known as Thera. Now, in a sense, maybe Atlantis was Thera. That island was populated by skilled merchants and traders known for their wealth and prosperity. Unfortunately, it was the site of one of the largest ever recorded volcanic eruptions around 1640 BC. While the city of Santorini has survived, the story of Thera may have inspired the legend of Atlantis. What do you think?